everyone, my name's Jessica and thank you for tuning in. I'm a content contributor for Southern Horse Talk and I'm also the blogger behind Southern Belle Equestrian. And today I am very excited to be bringing you guys first in a new series called Southern Horse Talk Unplugged. And today our very first guest is the ever-talented Jessie Lynn Nichols. Welcome, Jessie. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure being with you.
Well, we sure are happy to have you. So you live quite the busy life. You're train and ride horses, you're a college student, and you're managing a singing career. So could you mind, or do you mind, telling us a little bit about your background and kind of how you got to where you are?
Sure, why not? Let's start with the horse background first, because obviously that's where I started out mostly. I was technically riding horses before I was even born, but I was officially put on my first horse at 9 months old. My mom used to rodeo and do a lot of barrel racing, a lot of queen pageantry type stuff. Was Miss Rodeo Alabama in 1988, went on to Miss Rodeo America and Miss Rodeo USA, and I guess you can say I followed in her footsteps. She had a training business when she was around my age as well, and trained and boarded horses. And as they say, the rest is history. I started out as a barrel racer, still am an avid barrel racer today, but have had my fair hand in training halter horses, hunter under saddle, western pleasure, reining, stock horse. Certainly had my fair share and go around of that. And I guess it's easy to say that my equestrian life led into actually the first single that we just released. I actually started singing in church at the age of 3. My grandmother, Loy Stugan, got me started. Her and her twin sister used to open up at a lot of the gospel cantatas and different things as well. And my great-grandmother, who I'm named after, actually toured and performed with the Blackwood Brothers. So they could, you know, the music genes run in the family. And it's quite interesting, really, how everything kind of came together. I started Alabama Extreme Equine Productions at the age of 15, so that was back in 2009. I started out as training horses and had various clients in multiple disciplines that I saw on a week-to-week basis. Now I kind of keep that more in the summer because of school and the music career that's going on. But I never thought in a million years starting my business that early would lead into such a fantastic and such a strong foundation for what I have built as a music career and I'm continuing to build. And I did not realize how much it prepared me for what is at hand now. And I was classically trained in music for 10 years, so I started at the age of 6. Kind of lost interest around the 16-year-old years just because I got burnt out on it, and so focused a lot of my time on the horses and went to Auburn University. Still am attending there. I have a year officially after December before I graduate, so yay. And something just told me my first year in college that I needed to get back in the music and go for what I had dreamed of my entire life. And that was to go on and do my country music and become the country music star that I've always dreamed that I could be. And it's amazing how everything has played hand in hand. I have a lot of supporters from the university. A lot of my professors are my biggest fans. You know, people from the horse world. Like I said, the horse world was the idea behind the first single that we have released, and actually we have a few more songs that are coming out that are based on the equestrian world. And so it's so interesting how you can look at it in perspective and put everything into perspective and see how it has shaped and formed my life. So it's really tremendous. I do not think of it as work.
Right. And it's such a great thing to have that, find that passion that, you know, you can go to work every day and it's not a chore or anything. You really love to do what you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
it's fantastic.
I totally understand kind of, you know, college and finding yourself. I didn't graduate in December myself, and so it's, you know, definitely a time where you're kind of exploring things and kind of really seeing how your life is kind of coming together and you're finding everything.
Yes, absolutely. Finding yourself in more ways than one.
Right, definitely. So if you don't mind sharing with us, what are you majoring in?
My major is agriculture communications, and to shed a little bit of light as to what that is, many of the agriculture people know what this is, but several other people outside of this realm do not. Agriculture communications basically is a mass broadcast communications degree, but we have a specific emphasis on agriculture. So we educate our consumers about what is in their food, what is currently going on with farm production. And, you know, they say everything has a story. Well, agriculture has a story to tell as well, especially with all of the marketing tactics that we see coming in today, you know, the GMO-free and the hormone-free. And we explain to the consumers basically what that is, what is in their products and what is not. You'll find today that a lot of this stuff is a marketing tactic for many people, especially with chickens. You know, you see the hormone-free, I'm like, there's no hormones in the chickens. So our job is to tell the story of agriculture and speak for the producers who cannot tell their story on their own. So it's very fun. I enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely. So how is this major going to help you in your future career and kind of where you want to go in the future?
I am hoping that this major will place me somewhere in the realm of Nashville, obviously the Music City, so would love to be stationed there. Always wanted to either go to work for RFD TV or CMT Productions. If I could get on with either one of those companies, or even with, I believe Pfizer now is renamed as one of the pharmaceutical companies, but even just getting on with them and having the opportunity, I love to travel, obviously. And so having the opportunity, I believe this major, first of all, it caters to what I enjoy doing. And it also sets up a perfect platform for my music as well, because my music speaks about this, and it is my platform in which I can carry it through. I already have a built-in support group with this, and hopefully it will land me a spot there and where I can really start developing both of my career paths much more heavily, I guess is what I should say. But I believe this major, it's perfect, especially with the music role. You have to be able to communicate, as with any job. So I believe it actually puts me a little bit of a leg up and where I'm at, because you don't hear of an agriculture communications major. You hear of communications major, but they're going to see agriculture and they're going to be, well, what is this? Tell me more about it. So it's something that's specific, and it is something that's very important in today's world, especially with, you know, all the global food pricing and continuing growing population. It's something that's going to be a hot topic here for quite some time. So that's where I'm kind of hoping it puts me.
Well, that's great. I definitely agree that, you know, you don't hear much about the ag specialized kind of majors. You hear about the communications, the marketing, but when you get those ag ones, it's really kind of something special.
Yes, very much so.
And as you mentioned earlier, you started a business at a very young age for most people. And so can you share with us kind of how you got your business started and why you wanted to start it?
Sure. The main reason of why I wanted to start the business was because I did not want to be working at a fast food restaurant at the age of 15 or 16 and having my time taken away from my studies in high school or time away from my writing career that was going on at the time. And so my basic foundation behind it was really, I wanted to create a fun and conducive atmosphere for students of any age. I've taught children. I had several adult clients, still do, and love absolutely having that such a wide variety of age differences, because you're not catering to just one specific person. And I love the training aspect because, like each individual, a horse is its own individual self as well. So you get to find each characteristic that that person or the horse possesses, and you can see the light bulb moment. So knowing that my teaching and my time of working with the student or with the horse is well spent, it's stress relief for me, and knowing that we can all accomplish something as a team instead of just an individual sport, that is the basis of what and how I started Alabama Extreme Equine Productions. We do specialize in some other different areas as well, including equestrian drill team. I rode on an equestrian drill team for several years, coached horseplay, which Becca was a part of for quite a while, and still continue to travel across the Southeast judging various competitions and offering drill team clinics. Now, my mother and godmother handle the other side of the business, which is producing the drill team competitions. So they handle that side. I handle the lesson and training side, or a lot of the travel time, as I call it. And so really it was just a way to get me out and start and find out, economics-wise, building a business, how everything works in the real world, and mostly just experience because I wanted it. So that's how I started it.
Well, that's awesome that you set out to start a business at that age, and I think a lot of people, that's really something awesome and aspire to do, but kind of, don't think that they can because, maybe you're
right.
too young, but you can. You totally can. You just have to set your mind to it.
Yes. Definitely set your mind to it. Have some goals set in place, and always set them just outside that attainable spot. Because if you set them just outside that spot, you're more than likely going to succeed because you're going to try harder to reach it. And normally it ends up better on both ends.
Right. So kind of walk me through what it's like being on a drill team, and maybe some advice for someone that would be interested in being on a drill team.
All right. Well, let's see. We're going back a couple years. Being on a drill team, I started riding on an equestrian drill team at the age of 8, and kind of officially retired, I guess, at the age of 17 of, getting off of a drill team and riding. I enjoyed more of the coaching and now training more at this point. And a lot of time constraints as that as well. I think the most important factor as far as being on a drill team, being a member of a drill team, is the same thing that I talk about with an individual horse and rider. It is not a me or I sport, it is a we. There's no I in team, and it definitely takes a lot of time and hard work. You have, anywhere from 4 horses in a quad to we've had teams as large as 18 members at one time in a pen. They're each on 1,200-pound animals who have a mind of their own. Everybody has to be paying attention, and they have to know what is going on around them. And in order for that team to work as a whole unit and to execute the routine the way it needs to be done, everybody has got to be actively participating and willing to rely on their team members when something may go wrong, or know that if something goes wrong, everybody's going to be able to fix it then. I will definitely say, advice-wise on the drill team, do not expect everything to be perfect at once, because like I said, you have anywhere from 4 to 18 riders on a team on 1,200-pound animals. It's not going to be pretty the first few practices and probably the first couple of years. I'm just saying. It takes a lot of time. I know we have a couple teams that are out of Georgia that when we started doing some different stuff, they practice almost 3 and 4 times a week for several hours on hand, and they're a heavy competitive team. And so for them to be, the best and on top, they practice that many hours so that way they can get it in and make it work. So definitely a good time commitment, but it's so worth it. It has so many rewards, especially when you, your horse, and your team members can accomplish something. You can travel out of the state, you can go to a world or national championship show and know that your hard work has paid off after so many years, and you come home with a world or nationals title. It's so rewarding, and you gain so many life experiences, responsibility, time management, packing. That's the most important thing. Make sure you have everything on your truck and trailer. It's fun. I miss my years of traveling, but I certainly enjoy my years of coaching now, because I can pass on these little tidbits of information and say, look, here's mistakes that we made in the past. Don't do what we did. Make them, make it right now. And as my mom has always said, perfect practice makes perfect. So definitely, always bring the good attitude to the pen and always be willing to practice. So yeah, there's the long, kind of extended version.
Oh no, it's great. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I had no idea that, you could go to competitions as drill teams too.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Absolutely. Well, actually, as a matter of fact, our company has a drill team competition coming up this month, October the 31st, out at the Alabama State National Fair. So definitely, if y'all are interested in coming out and watching it, please feel free to do so. We'll be out there all day.
Awesome. Well, moving on to kind of your singing career. So this has been a big year for you in your singing career. So you competed in the Nash Next country singer competition. And can you kind of share with us how that experience was for you?
Sure. I can honestly say I had no intentions of actually fully participating in this event because, quite honestly, when I went to register for the event, I could not get my pictures or videos to download and nothing was pulling up. And so I didn't know what to do, and I said, well, it's kind of late in the deadline part anyway. Let me just do it next year. I've got it on file. I'll do it next year, but it still held the submission, which included the new single because that was the track that I submitted, and they reviewed it. And I get an email. I'm actually on an Ag Ambassador retreat for the College of Agriculture, and I get an email and a call from, the Nash Next program saying that I've been selected as a top 100 semifinalist based on my submission. And I'm like, how in the world did this happen? Because the song was submitted, but there were no pictures or anything. And they chose it based on the song. So I was just extremely ecstatic, and I called my mom and I was like, oh my gosh, we got to do this, this, and this. Talk about you hit the ground running. So I tried to figure out, what specifically was it that it was accepting files. Finally got some pictures to upload. And the challenge that we went next to was a cover video challenge. So I actually had to go and have a professional video shoot done. I covered the song Automatic by Miranda Lambert. I believe I learned the song 2 hours before we shot the video.
Oh, wow.
And had the band members come in. I believe we shot the video at 11 o'clock at night, and then I drove back to school to go to class the next morning and got home at 2 a.m. So
oh, wow.
It was interesting. But submitted it, had fans vote on it, the judges voted on it as well, and we then moved on to the Twitter challenge, which was a jingle challenge that we had to create for the Nash Next program. So it had to be about 30 seconds in length, and completed my jingle. We left the last 5 words off of it, and it was up to our fans to complete it. And then the judges would critique it, as well as our fans judge it as well. We unfortunately did not make it through to that next round, but I will say what I gained from that experience and seeing other artists who were well immersed in Nashville who were competing in this event and obviously have a good bit of followers from the Nashville music scene. I had a good insight as to what I can look forward to, as we talked about, putting those goals out there that are just out of reach. It gave me something to put back on my platform of, okay, here is my next goal. This is where I want to be once we get this done. So it certainly served as a great learning experience for me, knowing that my music hit home with some of the top artists in the industry, such as Kix Brooks, and various music producers, and over Cumulus Media. Knowing that, it's fantastic. It's a fantastic feeling knowing that they strictly picked it on that and then moved us on into the top 100. So it was a fantastic experience.
And so we have a special treat for the viewers today. You're going to sing a little bit of one of your songs, so I'll let you kind of tell us about the song, kind of what it means to you.
Sure. I'm going to do just a short snippet for you guys. I'm going to do it a cappella because was not sure how well the PA system would feed through this, so for safety purposes, just to make sure nothing went wrong with this, decided to do it a cappella. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the first verse of the new single that we just released in July. It's called Boots and Bling. It's a cowgirl thing. This is talking about my life as an avid barrel racer, talking about, all of the bright lights in the cities, going to the next big round of competition, and of course, you know, the bling belt buckles, all the bling tack that you see at the NFR and everything else. So this definitely is a part of who I am, and this song definitely speaks and gives the cowgirls out there and all the cowboys, but specifically the cowgirls and the barrel racers, the credit they deserve. And it was a fun song. Putting it in production, I had a blast with it, and so I'm excited to share it with you guys, and I'll sing a short snippet of it, and then I'll direct you guys to where you could hear the rest of it. So here we go. Saddle up, let's rock, we're rolling. Bright lights, big city, I'm going. No time to turn around. No time to back down. 3 barrels, 2 hearts, 1 dream. It's a cowgirl thing. So there's kind of a little bit of a sass rock to it. That's just a sneak peek of it. That's your first verse of it. If you want to hear more and the full version, you can find it on my website at www.jessielynn.net. It is also available on iTunes, Rhapsody, Spotify, anything else. But if you guys want to hear more of it, please feel free to go out and spend it as many times as you want to.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for doing that, and I think it's just so amazing. I'm a musician, instrumental musician, not a singer, so I have such respect for people that can sing and do a cappella. That's just amazing.
Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it.
And so where can folks also find out kind of more about you, your website?
Yes, definitely the website. For a full list of shows that we have coming up right now, our show schedule's kind of empty because we are kind of on a blank. We're kind of on our down period for the year. We just got off the road after 3 weekends back to back on doing some various shows in Auburn and Prattville and some other things as well. But for a full list of upcoming shows, the bio, to see some videos from live performances, and also the cover video that was from the Nash Next Challenge, you can go out to my website, which again is www.jessielynn.net. You can also find me on Facebook under Jessie Lynn. I have a friend page as well as a fan page. So you can either friend me and like the fan page, or just go out there and like the fan page to stay up to date. You can follow me on Instagram at Jessie Lynn Nix, and I'm also on Twitter at Jessie Lynn JL. So there's multiple ways to follow, and actually my website has multiple links to all of my accounts. So become a fan on Reverb, and we'd love to see you guys.
All right, well, that's about all the time we have today, and thank you so much, Jessie Lynn, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was such a pleasure.
And make sure to go check out Jessie Lynn on all of her websites that she mentioned. I'll make sure to have all the link down below. And also go check out her song and go get a copy for yourself. And as always, if you're not a member of the Southern Horse Talk Facebook group, we'd be delighted for you guys to come join us. And so that link will be below. And thank you for joining us for our first segment of Southern Horse Talk Unplugged. If you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Bye.